this is the knitting news from Knit Happens Teesside for the 37th week of 2025. The other night at knitting, we made it. There was a knitting night, so there is some news about the knitting of us. There's only 3 of us at the minute. Jill arrived wearing her last make, the turquoise lace top. She's now working on a vintage pattern. She found some lovely sort of a smoky, lilac-y colour in her stash. And she's making this pattern. She's not sure if the shaping was working right for the armhole. She's already done the back. Her yarn's got silk in, so it's very soft. It's lovely. Now she's not sure whether, but I mean we are all so much bigger than people were then. I'm sure we are. I mean, human beings have evolved in. Is it a 50s pattern? An actual 50s pattern or a 60s pattern? So it's a long time. People have changed, diets have changed, but people have changed too. So I think it might be made for like a skinny arm, and people still exist with skinny arms, but yeah, she wasn't sure about that, so she's had to undo something and redo something, but we'll see. I'm sure she'll get it right in the end. Helen was back from her trip to London, and she did discover a new wool shop. It was in an old print works, and these are the yarns that they had. So it was a lovely little shop, but it's not going to be open for very much longer. I don't know if no, she's going to shut shop because she has to vacate the premises. So it's been hard for the lady to run a wool shop. Apparently, some knitters aren't very nice. Right, so Helen, was she working on a shawl? She's still working on the shawl, you know, with the segments that I've shown for the last couple of weeks. And she bought these yarns to show us. A nice selection. So the cottons, the pastel range of cottons, that's for bunting. And she's got some gorgeous mohair. Did she say it was going to be for a cardigan? The emerald was just divine. We all like that one most. It was definitely a lovely yarn. Today's herbal confusion is peppermint, spearmint, licorice and ginger. And it's really nice. It's my favourite. It's off the Ringtons man who comes to the door. And actually we were out on Tuesday. Me and my husband went for another little sortie, and we went over towards Darlington. I'll show you some of that. But when we were out, the tea man came. And instead of waiting another fortnight, he left our tea round the side of our door. So we'd still get the tea bags, because I buy the same ones every week. But I haven't got a standing order with him. But that was good, because we didn't miss out on the tea. So I have finished my secret pink thing. It's done. And the colours go nice, don't they? But the mohair didn't go with it separately, so I had to double up my mohairs. So that's ready, and you'll see that sometime soon. It's for Blocks Magazine calendar for 2026, and the orders are open for the Blocked magazine calendar if you would like to go and purchase one, order one. And if you're in the UK, there's a digital copy that you can buy, because I think the whole thing with the postage at the moment is a little bit tricky, but I think it always has been, hasn't it, for us? Anyway, I was working on the pink item that is finished. And last night I was sitting, what a week it's been. It started with a fight that was lost, and it ended with a fight that was won. That's not a metaphor, that's actually what was happening. In MMA, people we know. So yeah, a shocking week. I want this to be sort of a knitting escape from things. But I am in chats with people who went to London yesterday for the big march, and knitters in America, and all I can say is a lot of people are on the same page, and let's hope that everybody comes together over things that are going on, and we move in the right direction, like my knitting. So this is on a really small needle because I like the needle. I think it's an Addi Turbo. If you've never used an Addi Turbo, I don't know if they still make them, but I do like them. The kind of hollow ends, but it's got the nice gold cable. My needle's a little bit small, so I can't really show you very well. I really like this pattern. It slid off because my needle's too small. I don't know if it hasn't slid off both ends, but I heard something over there. This is Absinthe with Van Gogh, and there's a section of lace at one side, then there's a garter stitch section, and then there's a cable section down the middle. Can you see that? Because I'm not actually looking. There's another cable, and then there's the garter, the lace, and there's obviously this separation going on in between. And now I'm onto another separation, and I'm back onto orange, but my next sort of separation of the colours, like, it's not separation, is it? It's amalgamation where the colours are going. It's changing into orange in stripes. It's a good one for knitting away on, and then you only have to, there's around 30 stitches in the middle that you have to mark off on a chart because it's quite a detailed sort of cable repeat. So I'm using the rest of my orange so that it's more than 50% orange, so I can put it in the Mogger knit along, which is also Blocked magazine, Make Orange Great Again. And well, that's, you've still got time if you want to make some pumpkins or something, or socks or something that might not take too long, and you want to make them orange. You've got time because it's not ending till the end of the month. I think I've got that right. So we've still got half a month. So that's that. But I am thinking of starting something else, and you might be able to help me with it. Shall I tell you about our little sortie first? So we went towards Darlington. We went to Piercebridge because I knew there was a Roman fort, ruins of a Roman fort there, and there was the kind of big dips in the grass that were also like the ruins of a moat, I think. It's very near the river, so it was in a strategic place. So this would have been the East Gate. There's big dips there, I don't know what they would have been. Probably a moat. Tiny spaces. If they're rooms, they're really tiny. And if that was a corridor, well, I don't know. This is about just over a foot. How bizarre.
Cheesemouth. There's a fish, I think, just moved there. Salmon in here. Salmon and sea trout.
We had a little mooch round there. There wasn't an awful lot, but when we walked through on the other side, you could go along past the sheep to the river, and that was a nice little walk, but it was a very little walk. It's a very little place, there's not that much around it. So we did that little walk, we had a look at the river, and then we walked back towards the churchyard. We had a look around the churchyard at the graves, because I thought, well, I don't know that we have Puritan graves here, but there's the Puritan, politically incorrect knitters Puritanical Knitting Fun Run knit along starting soon. It's mostly around dark colours. I don't think it started yet, but if you want to do that knit along, you could go along and look. And if you want to do any knit alongs, check in with Mama Nevin on Instagram, because she's got a list. And also in Blocked magazine there is a list of all the knit alongs that people are running, and a lot of them are overlapping and some are ending soon, and sometimes there won't be any. But the upcoming one is the Puritanical Knitting Fun Run, and it's based on graves. I'm going to put something together in one of my weeks about the graves that I've had a look at. So we did have a look in Piercebridge at the church. In the graveyard at Piercebridge, there was this big rock of a grave. It was just a lump of rock. I thought, that's peculiar. I haven't seen anything quite like that before. And it was a rock that people had got the money together for because a family, 2 sisters and a friend, or was it 3 sisters, or 2 sisters and a mum and a friend, all disappeared off the riverbank. They were found. And before we left, we found a portaloo, which was quite kind of convenient. I said, Tin, hold me bag, I'm going in here. Before we even got to Piercebridge, we found a castle. Walworth Castle Hotel, which is from, I thought I'd written it down but I can't see it, 1100 I think it was. But it was most of it was built in 1600 around the old building. And it's changed hands a few times. It was even been a girls' school. And more recently, that was when the council bought it out. Then it was bought by a couple who owned it for about 25 years. I don't know if they ran it as a hotel, but it's always been a private residence. And then last year, it was bought by a hotel chain and I think it's really just a wedding venue, not a castle to look around. But the building is amazing, and I did have a little look. It's not actually that much to stay there if you compare it to other places. Maybe in winter it'll be cheaper. I'll have a look. I'm going to make a jumper. I'm going to make up the pattern myself. It is the same as a pattern I made in 1984, maybe around then, and if I can get it done in time, it'll be for the 1984 online free knitting magazine, Blocked. It has themes each issue, and the next issue, one's just come out, So have a read of that if you haven't, because it's really good. And there was even a really good video the other night, Friday night, on YouTube, about the issue that's just been released. Now the deadline's coming up for the next issue, and anybody can send things in for it. So I'm thinking of remaking this pattern that I made up myself when I was a punk. Nobody knows anything about this until they watch my video. I haven't told anybody. But it was a mohair punk jumper. And some of it was made on real broomstick handles, which I shall dig out because I want to do it on the original ones. So when I was at college, me and my friend, who were both punks, we wanted to make our own mohair jumpers, and it was mohair like this, the old mohair, not the mohair lace. So it's a DK or an Aran because it like fluffs up, you know, the 80s and the mohair, 80s mohair, not mohair lace. And black would be good for the Puritanical Knitting Fun Run, but I don't have black mohair that I've got enough of, unless it's mohair lace, and I don't want it to be mohair lace, I want it to be more of a DK. So I've had a rummage through my stash, or most of my stash, but not all of it, this morning, trying to find something that is kind of mohairy. And I found this, and I wasn't sure about the colour. I don't know what it looks like on there, but it's really kind of gaudy. I don't dislike it. I think I found it in a charity shop and just bought it because it wasn't acrylic. Because it's mohair. So there's that one. Actually, I think that this one is a nicer colour, but is probably more acrylic. Made in Great Britain. It's almost 70% wool, 20 mohair and 10 chlorofibre. And where did I say, where, oh, there it says. So it's Peyton's Piccadilly. So there's those, which are both like, I mean, that actually has got more hair in it, hasn't it? 20%. So that's floofy. This one's floofy. Or Jaeger Luxury Tweed, which is, I say this word every week, discontinued. I bought this on eBay because I bought some in a wool shop sale, and I made a really nice jumper out of it and really like the yarn. Made in Home Firth, England. It says 4mm needles. It's kind of not that thick, but again, it's got the floof. I've got enough of this to make it. And does this pass, Anne and DK? Would this pass for the Puritanical Knitting Fun Run? Because I could enter that as well at the same time. I'll get my little spy out. It's 65% merino lamb's wool, 35% alpaca. So it's got no more hair. It's got alpaca hair. It's like, it is a bit hairy. So there's that hairy, and then there's that hairy, and then there's the green one. If anybody's got a preference or thinks that any of the colours look better on me, or should I just go with this one? Because it's more like the original as well, because it was black. It's always good to keep your options open, isn't it? I am wearing Eliza by Anniken Allis, and it's made in Scopel wool lace ball, 100 gram I think. So up close. So the wool actually changes. I've shown this before. I think there's It's kind of, I think it's stretched. There's beautiful beads on it. And there are different lace stitches as you go along. But I think the change in the lace stitch is quite subtle. So that stitch there. Oh, and then even the very end. I actually like the very end. It's so uniform. So you can see where that changes. So this is one of my favourites, really. It's light. If you get too warm, you don't have to keep it on. You can carry it, and you can shove it in a bag, screw it up and shove it in a bag. So that's what I'm wearing. Doesn't quite look right like that, does it? Some more news, maybe next week. It's all about the horses. Young horse. Oh, went to Oldham, got some yarn.